Good evening. I'd like to talk a little bit about some of the projects that we have coming up for design in the area, as well as construction projects for this season. And then I'll talk a little bit about the pavement projects that we have planned this year. So to start, we just opened bids on a project to improve the intersection at Tanque Verde and Tanque Verde Loop. That project will include a signal and some additional lane width in there that should help with that school intersection. And that construction should start shortly. We also have a project ongoing with the city of Tucson on Houghton Road to add shoulders from the Andrada High School to the south all the way to Andrada Road. That project's underway and should be done early this fall. As far as design projects, we do have one more construction project that is developer driven. It's a permitted project on Valencia Road, being to be constructed by Diamond Ventures, which is the extension of Valencia Road, and a new bridge to connect to not Colossal Cave. What is it? Old Spanish Trail. Thank you. So that project, I think they're getting very close to an agreement to getting started on that. So we should be looking forward to that. And we have a couple projects that we're getting design started on. The first one is a signalized intersection at Wilmot and Saurita Road, where we recently have done the repaving or the paving of Wilmot, and that should help relieve some of the concerns we have with the peak hour congestion at that intersection. And we're selecting designer for that now. And the other project we have that we're selecting a designer for will be Houghton Road widening from I-10 south to the high school. And that will take us a couple years to get the design going and into a construction project that we're still looking for all the funding on. As far as paving projects, we have quite a few in the lineup this year. We're getting more and more creative on sources of funding, and as we start paying off some of the bonds that we owe on past projects, that opens up more funding for us. So this year we have a number of different sources of funds and a number of projects. One of the projects that is more of a project of opportunity, as you know, the city is doing an intersection at Valencia and Kolb. We've got a little section of county road that is just east of the railroad crossing, east of Valencia and Kolb. That's about 1/3 of a mile long, and we're going to put some money into that city project to repave that section, that we don't leave a gap in there, that, you know, with a new project right next to it, where the city's done work on both sides. So we'll be doing that. It looks like the contractor has an opportunity in the next few weeks, so you should look for that very soon. As far as other projects, we have another $6 million worth of highway user revenue bonds that we're spending throughout the county, and the project that is part of that in this area is Old Spanish Trail from Pistol Hill to Colossal Cave Road, and that project is already out to, we've already opened bids on it, and that project should be awarded at one of the next board meetings, and we'd be getting started on a mill and replace of that asphalt in that section here very soon this year. We're packaging a number of different arterial and collector projects, as well as local street projects, where we have identified a number of failed roads that we're going to be replacing the asphalt on. Some of those arterials are an additional section of Old Spanish Trail from Freeman to Escalante. There's Don Road from Harrison Road to Houghton Road. We've got three sections of Andrada Road, Wentworth to Calle Rinconado to Branding Place, and Branding Place to Davidson Road. That's really all one project, I think, but I've got it on 3 lines. And then on local streets, we have Dawn Road or Dawn Drive from Colossal Cave Road to Shalom Drive. And all of those projects we're in the process of getting out to bids this season, and they should be wrapped up before this time next year. With that, I'd be happy to take any questions that you might have.
They did that sealing of cracks, that crack sealing on Houghton. I think they just completed it. I actually didn't know it was happening until I got stuck waiting because it was down to 1 lane. It's finished. It's I believe south of Andrada. I'm not sure how. I'm trying to remember exactly where it was because I kept trying to get around it, going out around the fairgrounds. But what we're left with now is it looks like they let a deranged 2-year-old loose with a giant crayon. It just looks like it's all squiggles all over the road. The striping is crisscrossed everywhere and not in any logical way. You actually can't see the striping. I came back from Tucson last night via Houghton, and you actually can't see the yellow line in parts of it. And my question is there a plan to then go back over that with a chip seal and then restripe? And if they have to restripe, the workmen who dumped down that crack seal, it's lumpy and bumpy. And I don't know how they're going to stripe over it.
So the answer to your question is yes, that there is going to be a chip seal. That section is the city section, but we're conducting that work for them. They wanted the road crack sealed and a chip seal applied to it after we complete the widening. So that's one of the first steps. We could certainly look at whether or not they're being excessive with the amount of crack fill material out there and see if there's an issue with that smoothing out or not. But that is the intent, that it would be chip sealed over and restriped.
So I heard you say that one of the sections being looked into was from Pistol Hill to Colossal Cave. So my question is, are there any plans to pave the roads inside Colossal Cave Mountain Park? That is a really important and significant Vail attraction, regional Pima County attraction. It's one of the crown jewels of Pima County, and the road is a real reflection on all of us. And it is a deterrent to additional tourism that brings in revenue.
So I do know that we're working with Parks and Recreation to include a section of Colossal Cave within the park. I don't know exactly how long that is, but it's right at their entrance. Carmine may know exactly what that is, but we are including some of that with this project as a cooperative effort.
I hope it'll include the whole loop inside the park. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Al Wyruth from Rita Ranch. I'm hard of hearing. I don't know. You may have already answered my question. The Valencia extension east of Houghton over to Old Spanish Trail. I don't know if you said anything about that. Can you give us an idea of when that may be started, especially since the Micah Mountain High School is being prepared now for the Vail School District, and that is off of a dirt road from where they have the little planes across from where the little planes are flying off of Valencia. Do you have any schedule on that, sir?
I know that the developer has opened bids now for the second time on that project, and it's just a matter of them getting their final contract with the contractor into place. I can't really speak to exactly when that'll be, but I'm told that it's very soon.
Okay, and then I guess a follow-up would be, if you don't have a time frame for the entire length of the project, what about, is there plans, or maybe something you take back and talk about, our plans to pave the Valencia Road up to at least where the new high school is going to be, because it's going to be taking buses and everything. And if you get an opportunity to ride over that, you will understand, parents and stuff will get very upset because their shocks may have to be replaced almost on a monthly basis. And I'm sure the school district doesn't want to replace the shocks on the buses. So I just thought that might be something you all, at least up to where the new high school is, if you're, I know it's a couple of years down the road, but the high school's planned to be ready and operational within a year. And so that might be something the county supervisor might want to look into. But thank you very much.
So I don't have a specific answer. I believe that section's in the city limits. But I could certainly look into that and maybe get back to the council on that.
So Jim, I have a question in regards to the design aspect for Houghton Road South from I-10 to the high school. We've basically complained in regards to the washout and the side culverts continuously washing out. When they do the design phase, are there any considerations to culverts? Because I'm not going to disclose who told me, but somebody said that they want to raise the road and not put in any culverts to save on funds.
We want to raise the road as little as we have to minimize costs, but we're definitely putting in culverts in along with detention so that the sizing of those culverts is smaller to help with the cost. But our intent is to have an all-weather road.
Okay. Our concern definitely was if culverts were not being added, because at this time I could say off the top of my head, I know about 5 washout areas between Dawn Road and the high schools that would require that.
Correct. And that's part of our selection criteria for our design consultant is to have them provide us with the best way to optimize the balance on the drainage design.
Okay. Because my recommendation would at least, at a minimum, 1 culvert, because the road at this time has already got dirt and washout currently from the last rains.
There's a number of drainage crossings that
Exactly.
will have culverts.
I'm glad we see it and you see it as well. So, but no, thank you very much.
Any other questions for Jim? Thank you, Jim.